So I quit social media for 30 days. Why did I do that? Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I am going to be talking about something that I did last month, an experiment that I tried, and basically what I plan to do or share in this video is sharing what I got out of that experience, why I actually went ahead with it, and what prompted me to do it, right? So I recently have been getting a lot of anxiety on social media. A lot of information just keeps going through my head, and I felt a bit overwhelmed by everything that was happening. And this has been a thing from last year, the pandemic, NSAS, if you're from Nigeria, there is just a lot of things that has happened both in my life and the society, right? And all of these things are triggering for me, especially when you're on Twitter. If you understand what I'm saying, or if you've had that experience, you just keep scrolling, and a lot of things just triggers me when I do that. There is also Instagram, TikTok, these other places that you spend hours and hours on, just gaining and getting, negative vibes from. So I know that this was a problem for me, but I just try to limit the amount of time that I spent on all of these apps just to, regain my sanity. But last month or a month before that, I read a book called, I should probably show you this book. Anyway, I just had a new haircut, in case you noticed, but if you did not, that's fine. I cut this myself yesterday. I even gave myself a very little style shape here. I don't know what this is called. I actually learned how to do everything you see here on YouTube. So thanks, shout out to YouTube for always coming through for me when I have to do my DIYs. So I read this book called Digital Minimalism, just here. This book really inspired me to go on this challenge, right? And one thing that I learned from reading this book is that the world, or should I say the digital world, is time consuming. Not just time consuming, it also drains you. But a lot of people don't know this. There is a part I remember reading about, how people spend hours and hours on their phone, just going through their phone. If you're in a public transportation, over 70% of people are on their phone, and that's how the world is currently going, because of course you're in the digital age, which makes sense. For me, I would say this book gave me clarity on why spending so much time on social media can be bad for your mental health. And I began to see it after I finished reading this book. Even while I was reading this book, I began to see reasons why, social media triggers my anxiety and so on and so forth. So what I decided to do after I read this book was to go on a 30-day detox. I just wanted to have that refreshing feeling of, having to leave something and come back to it after a while, right? And I decided to do that. But it was not as easy as I thought it would be. So I'm going to be sharing with you the lessons that I've learned, or the things that I noticed changed for me in this period. I'd also like to mention that a lot of times the reason why you see people, or basically I'll speak from my own experience, a lot of times why I am always on social media is because I have maybe FOMO of things that are happening that I'm missing out on. So fear of missing out on things that are not even important to you. Sometimes I find out that I open Twitter unconsciously. I don't know if that happens to other people, but one minute I'm trying to figure out how to do stuff. The next minute I'm on my phone and I'm on the Twitter. How did I get to Twitter? I don't know. But this is a learned habit. So I feel like over time, if you're consistently doing something, your brain just adapts to it. And I think it's a learned habit. I don't know. You can correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah, I wanted to just stop that habit. I did not like it. I did not like always, unconsciously scrolling through, doom scrolling. I call it doom scrolling. I did not like it. So I felt I needed to correct this. yeah, those are the motivation behind me going on this detox. And what did I plan? Because of course, before you plan to do something, or before you plan to take up a challenge, you have to, think about how you want to achieve that challenge, right? So I decided that I was going to do it the entire period in April, but because of the things that I do, so I create content, and where do I post or share this content? On social media. I have to engage with my followers, I have to engage with my subscribers. So I decided that unless I need to, right, I'm not going to be on those apps. So for Twitter, I think I mostly spent maybe 30 or 40% of the time that I usually spend on Twitter for the entire month of April. And I saw a significant change, which I'm going to talk about later in this video. The changes that I made, or the changes that I saw from doing this challenge, but the things that I did to make sure that the challenge was successful was, limiting, telling myself that I'm going to limit the amount of time I spend on these apps, and not just saying I'm going to limit the amount of time, actually delete the apps from my phone. So I went ahead to delete, Instagram, Twitter, I think TikTok. I deleted TikTok, or every social media app, that takes so much of my time, or just, have a lot of that seeks a lot of attention from me. I deleted them from my phone. For Twitter, I would only download it when I needed to post content, or just post it directly from the browser, or schedule my tweets, which I did a couple of times. So I decided that in this period that I am spending less time on social media, it means that I'm going to have more time to myself. So I decided that in that period, I'm going to dedicate it to being more productive, and spending some of those time planning content, creating them, also reading more books, so have more time to read. I also started taking walks, so sometimes I'll go out for a walk and just listening to a podcast or something. I did this mostly in the beginning. Later I stopped doing the walks, but it's something that I want to do more of. I just need to actually be zealous and go for it. And I also started tracking some of these habits. So I have a habit tracker somewhere there. You can't see it, but I have it somewhere there, where in the morning when I wake up, or towards the end of the day, I just track the habits I was able to achieve. And I was also tracking social media there. So I was tracking my social media habits. I'm going to insert a clip of what I tracked here. I was tracking my social media. How did I actually go through with the social media detox for that specific day? If I did, I'm going to mark it yes, or if I did not, mark it no, just so I have an idea of how many days I actually went through with this detox. So I was able to do it for the entire period of April, but on specific days where I needed to post content, or I remember on my birthday when I posted on Twitter, those days I was active, but for the other days I was less active. And again, because I get some important DMs sometimes on Twitter, I also keep track of my DMs like every time, so I always check that as well. So let's go into what I gained, or what I noticed changed in this period of me doing this detox. The first thing that I noticed change is I had like calm, I had peace suddenly. I don't know where that came from, but when you stop consuming a lot of negative things from the internet, I think it also relates to how you feel, like your mood, your emotions, I don't know. But for the first time in a while, I've just felt calm. I felt a lot of peace around me, because I was not reading something happened somewhere, or this happened, that happened, even though those things were still happening, right? But I wasn't consuming them, and it was very nice to have that period for a short time, right? Because it was, the plan was to do it for only 30 days. Another thing that I noticed change is I had a lot of time to myself. Like, I was surprised, where did this time come from? Because lately I've been feeling so overwhelmed. Like, I feel like time time is just running. I don't know where it's running to, but I feel like my days are short, my nights are short, everything is just short. My weekends are very short as well. So recently, even though I still feel like time is short for me, I still think that I feel very time efficient. Let me just put it like that. Like, there is a lot of time for me to do stuff these days. So I really like that fact. Another thing is I feel less anxious. Again, the reason why I decided to try this challenge is because of too much of anxiety that I get off social media. So I'm checking Instagram, you're checking stuff, like there's just so many contents getting to your head, you know. And yeah, I decided that doing this helped with my anxiety, just helps me reduce it for a bit. And maybe I should make this a permanent thing, but I don't think I can constantly do a detox every month. The plan was to just, like, basically the plan is to do a reboot, like a refresh your head and come back. I gain more time to myself, less anxiety, less FOMO, less fear of missing out. I only check when it's necessary. I only go on social media when it's necessary. Sometimes when I feel like I need to find new inspiration or just find out what's happening in my world, so in tech, I always check as well, just to keep up to date with what is happening.
I found this on the web.
That was Siri. Oh my god, Siri is anyway. So that's what I wanted to share, why I decided to do this detox, my experience doing it, and what I got out of it. If this is something you would also like to try, I would advise that you first of all read this book, because it inspired a lot of things that I did in this challenge. So check out this book, Digital Minimalism, and just see if it's something you would like to try. I also know that a lot of people do this like every time. If you just go on YouTube and search for 30 days detox challenge, social media detox, you see a lot of people that have tried it and the result they got from doing it. I'm very happy to share mine, and yeah, that's the idea for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to check out my other videos that I've made. I'll be coming back with some tech content in my next video, so stick around. And if you've not subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? Please hit the subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up, and click the bell icon if you want to get notified when next I post a video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.